You don't buy things because you need them. You buy them because you can't tolerate the version of yourself you are in that moment. And the worst part? You know it while you're clicking Buy Now. You feel the rush, then the guilt, then the quiet self-hatred. And still, you do it again next week. That's not lack of discipline. That's a broken financial operating system. My name is Zoe, and here at Exponential Mind, we don't just count pennies, we rewire how you think about wealth. If you're someone who keeps spending money on things you regret 5 minutes later, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Because your brain is using Amazon as emotional anesthesia, and it's costing you $250,000. Here's the problem. You think you're buying objects. You're actually buying emotional relief. Every unnecessary purchase gives you a dopamine spike. Neurologically, that spike feels almost identical to progress, but it's counterfeit progress. You close the tab feeling accomplished, as if you moved forward in life, but nothing actually changed. Spending is the cheapest way to simulate growth. Let's put numbers on it. Say you spend $120 per week on random non-essential purchases. That's $480 a month, $5,760 a year. Invested at an 8% average annual return for 20 years, that's over $270,000. $270,000. And that's just the small stuff. This isn't about lattes, it's about leakage. Here's the psychological trap. Your brain prioritizes immediate reward over delayed gain. Behavioral economists call it present bias. But here's what they don't emphasize enough. Present bias becomes self-sabotage when your identity is unstable. If you don't feel successful, you will rent the feeling. And rent is always more expensive than ownership. Studies show people report a happiness boost from purchases that fades within days, sometimes hours. Yet the financial impact compounds for decades. You trade decades of compounding for minutes of stimulation. That's not irrational, it's untrained. And untrained money always obeys impulse. Let's escalate. You don't just buy for dopamine, you buy for identity. The shoes, the upgraded phone, the overpriced gym membership you barely use. You're not purchasing utility, you're purchasing a version of yourself. Here's the confrontation. If you truly believed you were valuable, you wouldn't need props. But marketing knows your insecurity better than you do. Brands don't sell products, they sell personality upgrades, and you finance them. Let's do the math again. $2,000 per year in status purchases, invested at 8% for 30 years, over $226,000. That's the down payment on freedom, gone. Insecurity is Wall Street's most reliable customer. And here's the contradiction. The more you try to buy confidence, the less confident you feel, because deep down, you know it's fake. This is why the guilt hits so hard after the purchase, not because of the money, because your integrity cracked. And every time you override your long-term goals for short-term image, your self-trust erodes. Self-trust is financial oxygen. Lose that, and even high income won't save you. Now we go deeper. Why do you hate yourself after buying useless stuff? Because you violated your future self, and your brain keeps score. There's a psychological mechanism called cognitive dissonance. When your actions don't match your values, tension builds. You say you want freedom, but you finance chains. That tension converts into shame, and shame demands escape. So what do? You spend again. This is the loop. Stress, purchase, relief, guilt, shame, purchase. Not a money problem, a regulation problem. Your spending is emotional regulation disguised as consumer choice. Here's the shock. Retail therapy works for about 20 minutes. Compound interest works for about 20 years. You keep choosing the 20-minute solution. Short-term relief is long-term poverty. And here's something uncomfortable. You don't hate yourself because you spent money. You hate yourself because you proved you don't control yourself. That's an identity wound. Wealth requires delayed gratification. Delayed gratification requires emotional tolerance. Emotional tolerance requires self-command. If you can't sit with discomfort, you'll swipe to escape it. Wealth amplifies who you already are. It doesn't fix you. So what do we do? Not motivation, mechanism. Step 1. Install a 48-hour rule. Any non-essential purchase over $50 waits 48 hours, no exceptions. Impulse dies in time. If you still want it after 48 hours, fine, but most cravings expire. Step 2. Calculate the future cost. Before buying something, multiply the price by 5. That approximates its future value if invested over time. That $200 jacket? It's not $200, it's potentially $1,000 of future capital. Train your brain to see opportunity cost automatically. Wealthy thinkers see multiplication, not price tags. Step 3. Create a dopamine replacement. You don't eliminate the urge, you redirect it. Instead of buying something, transfer the same amount into an investment account. $50 saved equals $50 spent. Same dopamine hit, different outcome. Feel the hit of progress. Watch the number move. Make investing your addiction. Step 4. Identity reframe. Stop saying, "I'm bad with money." Say, "I'm training financial discipline." Language shapes neural pathways. You're not broken, you're unconditioned, and conditioning can be redesigned. Step 5. Track regret. Keep a purchase regret list. Every time you regret something, write it down with the cost. At the end of the month, total it. Nothing rewires behavior like visible data. Hard finance truth. If you redirect just $500 per month into an index fund at 8% for 25 years, you're looking at over $470,000, $500,000. That's what your random impulses are competing with. Not shoes, not gadgets, freedom. Now you see it. The spending was never about stuff. It was about regulation and identity. But here's what gets strange. What happens when you finally stop overspending and suddenly feel empty? Not broke, empty. Most people relapse right there, and it's not because they miss the items, it's because they miss something else entirely. Wealth is an identity decision. You haven't made it yet.